which are terrible, by the way. Pro tip: if you ever start to buy, good dinners, don't buy those fucking frozen oven dinners. They're not good. The real way to go is this frozen skillet dinners. Take 10 minutes to cook in a skillet, and they are bomb. Chicken carbonara is the best. Buy it pretty much every week. But you buy those oven ones, and they're never fucking cooked through all the way. It takes forever. The box will say, preheat the oven and then cook it for 55 to 65 minutes. You take it out 65 minutes later, the bitch is cold in the middle. So, don't ever buy those. Except for the Stouffer's mac and cheese. That's gas. Shoom ba-doom, shoom ba-doom, shoom ba-doom, ba-doom, ba-doom. Hello, and welcome back to the Tasty Burger. Sorry for the long wait, the long absence, the radio silence, as they would say. Been a busy couple weeks. Yeah. I feel like this whole summer I've just been trying to capitalize, I've been in this capitalizing mode. But truth be told, I don't know what exactly I'm supposed to be capitalizing. That's the thing. For a while there I was trying to get that full-time job. Capitalize on this extra time I got. Started, streaming. Capitalize on all the games I fucking play, and then again extra time. So, but now I just feel like I don't know, there should be something I should be doing. You know what I mean? Had to stop looking for a full-time job. I did a couple interviews, and then I realized, if I get a full-time job right now, anything I'd want to do, right? Like a warehousing job, or, stocking, or shit like that, where you don't have to talk to customers. Anything like that. They're hiring for peak positions right now. Peak positions. Hello. And if you don't know what that means, it means we're in the middle of a pandemic, and some businesses, fuck me. Some businesses are doing well. They're doing really good. Take, for instance, Walmart. Them motherfuckers are doing great. Amazing. First month of this pandemic, they got cleared out. Couldn't get shit, I went there the first weekend. There was no fucking cereal. I had to get those, fucking honeycomb shit. And, that wasn't good. No pizzas. There was nothing. So you can bet those motherfuckers are just turning around product. Like this. So my point is, I wouldn't want to get a job, at Walmart, and then get fired in like 6 months or a year or however long it would be. It's the pandemic period right now. I think that's what they'll call it in history, the pandemic period. Just after the internet period, there was the pandemic period. Maybe. Probably not. But it's, it's been a process. So now I'm just trying to look for, a second job at Walmart. I'm just going to try to get another part-time job, work 2 jobs. Feels kind of crazy. Have 2 jobs. be working like a psychopath. But this is where we're at, man. Money's tight. Excuse me. Sorry. Oh. Coffee. Anyways. Just turned 21. Woo! Yeehaw! What can I say? When this pandemic started, a lot of people my age were talking about how much it sucked to turn 21 this year during this pandemic. And you know what I said back in March? Get over it. Get over it. You know? It's not that big a deal. What? You can't go to a bar. You can't have a party or whatever. Oh, sorry if you can hear those motherfuckers working out there. Hopefully they'll be done soon. Oof, that's annoying. Maybe I'll turn this down in post. Anyways, come to find out, my birthday comes, about 5 months later. Didn't think we'd still be doing this, really. And it sucks, dude. It really bums you out. You can't hang out with your friends, can't go out to a bar. It's just a nightmare. Man, those motherfuckers are drilling. What are they doing? I'm really sorry about that. I mean, Jesus. I guess they're taking out the tile. Fuck. I need to get my own studio. Anyways, what was I saying? Birthdays, yes. It was a bummer. It was a real big bummer. But it had a good effect on me, personally. Every year, I have hated the part of the birthday where you get texts from, everybody. Sometimes they're all right, right? Like a text from your friend or your mom or some shit. But most of the time, it's these people that you fucking haven't talked to since last year, since your last birthday. And they're just, saying happy birthday. Like, extended family, I'm talking about aunt, uncles, cousins and shit. And it's like, I've always been of the mentality, like, I'm okay, bro. I don't need you to say happy birthday. You never talk to me anyways. What's the point, right? I don't say happy birthday to you. I just can't remember everybody's birthday. So, I usually have Facebook just tell me. And that's the only thing I use Facebook for. And to talk to my deadbeat dad. Because apparently his cell phone doesn't work. So, there you go. There's a dad for you. But people still tell me happy birthday on Facebook. The same fucking 5 people, They'll put it on my fucking, what is it called? Not a timeline. Your wall? They'll put it on my wall every year, once a year. And I've never responded because I don't go on Facebook. And I'm not going to go on Facebook just to tell people thank you. You can text me. You have my number, right? But anyways, the good effect that it had was that the birthday wishes, they really, they hit home this year. I had a lot of good ones. Friends, family. Got in touch with some old friends that I hadn't talked to since, graduating. High school, that is. And me really made me feel good, Where otherwise I probably, would have just not cared as I got ready to go to the bar or had some fucking party or whatever. And my sister did take me out to a sports bar, with limited seating last weekend. That was really fun. Did some shots of tequila, which is by far the best drink to take shots of, And this goes out to my buddy Lai from Loosey Goosey with Lai, shots of whiskey suck, okay? Shots of Jameson, please, I'll pass, right? Tequila, though? You get a fucking shot of tequila and a bite of a lime? Dude, what is better than that? What is better than that? Great. I want to get my own bottle of tequila and just, take shots by myself. But fuck, it's expensive. It's for sure a treat. But I want ya. Tequila. Tequila. Ding, 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 ding. Tequila. I don't think that's how it goes at all. But, yeah. That's what's been going on in my life. Oh, I upgraded my PC here. And I don't want to sound like too much of a nerd, but I upgraded my graphics card and got a new power supply. And it was really fun, actually. I thought it was going to be more stressful than it was, because I've always been terrible at keeping my cool while building something, Anyone know what that feels like? Just getting really frustrated for absolutely no reason other than the fact that you're building something, which was your entire goal from the start. Yeah, that was me. That's usually me. But this time, I took my time, went real slow. It's a very expensive machine, So that was on my brain the entire time. But learned a lot about how to take them apart and put them back together, because that's essentially what you got to do. When you're replacing a power supply, at least, you have to rewire everything. So, after doing that, I got a couple extra parts I'm going to try to sell. Got a nice power supply, graphics card, got a couple other things in my closet. I'm going to try to buy myself a new monitor now. Because big old dumb James, you know what he did? He got his PC last year, and he was so excited, he went to go get a monitor for it, and he was like, well, I've already spent this fucking big old double paycheck, basically what it was for me, two and a half paychecks. I already spent all this on this PC, let me try to save money on a monitor. And I went to a Best Buy sale. Actually, it wasn't a sale, they were going out of business, so they were like, please, take this shit. But it was a sale. I didn't get it for free, unfortunately. And I had like 4 options. And in my rush to get a monitor, I picked just a really bad one, So my graphics card is better than my monitor now. Which, if you know anything about computers, it's not great. You want to try to equalize those things. There's always going to be a little bit of a disparity, but you want to try and get them as close as possible. And so here I am, trying to sell this stuff to buy a new monitor. If you need some PC parts, hit me up. So that was fun, doing that. And yeah, looking for a job sucks, dude. It's just stressful, right? And you don't really know how to approach it. Or I don't. I find it difficult, Because you want to come off like you really want the job and you really want to, work there and be a part of the culture or whatever the fuck they say. But at the same time, you want to make sure it's a good job, right? And you never know it's going to be a good job until you start working there. Even if your buddy works there. Look, I can speak from experience. I thought my current job was going to be a whammo, knock out of the park. You start every day super early, which I can handle. You get off really early, which I love. And, work every day, 5 days a week, get paid every Friday, right? Sounds great. But you don't know until you get there that every day you go to work, you want to blow your fucking brains out. Just because of, Have you ever met a dock worker? I watched this movie with Jason Bateman, Ryan Reynolds, called The Change Up not too long ago, like last week. And he had this joke, he watches his buddy's wife take a shit. I don't know if you know what the movie's about. Let me just give you a breakdown real quick. These two guys, Jason Bateman and Ryan Reynolds, best friends. One night they go out drinking, right? And they both wish they had each other's lives. And they piss in this magic fountain or whatever. They don't know it's magic, but it ends up being magic. And the next morning they wake up and they switch bodies. They've essentially switched lives. So, hilarity ensues. But anyways, as this guy is watching his buddy's wife take a shit from the eyes of his buddy, you know what I mean? He's just so disgusted because he just had this crush on her, forever and whatever. And now he sees her taking a shit, and I guess he's turned off, right? And he says, she talks like a dock worker, and she shits like one too. And that's all you gotta know, man. They're all dudes in their 30s to 60s who still live with their mothers, Actually, there's two categories. Dudes in their 30s that still live with their mothers and wear too much cologne, or dudes in their 60s who are veterans. And either way, your day is gonna be challenging. I think that's the right word for it. Yeah, you gotta deal with sensitive veterans. Hey, I got nothing against veterans, but they're sensitive. And you gotta deal with dudes who have never had a purpose in their entire life. I will say there's one really good dude who works there with me. His name's Phil. His real name's Philbert. Imagine that. Can you imagine if your name was Philbert? I would go by Phil too, bro. And this guy's got like fucking millions of ideas, He's always got an idea. First he made music on SoundCloud. Then he made lingerie. Yeah, he made lingerie. And not lingerie, in case you didn't hear that, right? And then he had this one business before the pandemic where he would drive this limo around and he would, how do I explain this? It was basically like a weed taxi, right? He would drive you to the dispensary, then drive you around town while you smoked weed. Doesn't that sound awesome? I mean, like, not if you have your own place or whatever, but I mean, if I was in high school and that shit was around, hell, man, I would have called my man up. But he's always got ideas. He's always doing his own thing, starting his own business. He does this little mechanic thing right now. Makes pretty good money off that. So he's a pretty cool dude, but he's a 1 in 1,000, I don't know any other dude like that. Except for my good buddy Eli. He's always got ideas too. Let's talk about getting a full-time job. Let's talk about actually interviewing. That's what I was talking about before, wasn't it? Yeah. Interviewing. Because you don't know. What I said was, you don't know how to approach it. It's difficult. Because you want to seem like you want the job, but you also don't want to be in a bad job. You don't want to be in a shit job. So you want to make sure you understand everything. Right? Well, I did one interview for one company. I did a couple interviews, but one specific one stood out, right? It was for this company, Chewy. They make a bunch of pet products, and they needed somebody in their warehouse for a full-time position. And I knew when I accepted the interview, right? I knew I probably was going to turn it down, but it's a good idea to get interview experience, right? I've done an interview in over a year since I got this last job. So it's good to, loosen up the gears, get yourself well-oiled, if you know what I mean. No Title IXs here, but, you know what I'm saying. So I went. Before I went, I looked up on Indeed. If you don't know, you can do this. Real great tip incoming. You can look up on Indeed reviews for the job that you're applying for. And I would say 90% of these reviews were 1 star, 2 stars. Terrible management. They don't care about you. You're just a number. Yada, yada, yada. There was one 5-star review that was clearly written by the company. You know, and you can see those. I think those are the best reviews. Because that tells you everything you need to know about what the company thinks, right? So this 5-star review is like, you can do really well if you just apply yourself and you follow instructions, and if you have a hard time doing that, you should probably get a union job. Which I just thought was really funny. Like, everybody who works at a union is a shitty worker. Look, man, I'm in a union. I don't want to be, but I am. And, you know, I'd like to think I'm a okay worker. I almost said good. I haven't been a good worker lately, you know. You stop caring about your job. You really do, after a while. Especially a job like mine. I haven't met anyone that really loves their job still, you know. Maybe my sister. She works at a private practice, sort of medical thing for pregnant women, I guess. And she got a free baby delivery out of it. You know what I mean? Baby delivery. She works there, and the bosses were just like, "Oh, we'll do it for you for fucking free." And I don't know how much it costs, but it's probably fucking ridiculously expensive if we're talking American healthcare here. So she just got that shit for free. And then they threw her a little baby shower party, and they gave her a $250 gift card to Amazon. Pfft, are you kidding me? That doesn't even, like, my birthday total for Amazon gift cards didn't even get that high. Total. So, you know, I think she likes her job, or she likes her management, really. But the job, I don't think anyone really likes their job, per se. Unless they're doing what they love, right? And nobody loves working for somebody, is what I've come to conclude. Nobody loves that. Sorry I'm burping so much. This is coffee. Jesus. I bet people hate that. Let me know in the comments below. Let me know. Send me an email. Oh, that reminds me. Before I start to talk about this job again. Make sure to follow the socials right now. Pull out your phone. And what social do you use the most? Because I got it. You use Instagram? I got it. You use Twitter? I got it. You on YouTube all the time? I got it. Just search the Tasty Burger Pod on any of those platforms, and you're good to go. Here on SoundCloud, of course, I don't think SoundCloud is anybody's main, but you know, it's there for you. It is there for you. But be sure to subscribe, follow, do whatnot, what have you. Fucking TikTok? No. If you're sad about TikTok going away, well, Jesus. I'm sorry you have to go back to 9th grade this year. That didn't make sense. I'm sorry you have to go back to school this year, because clearly you're not old enough to be an adult. Grow up. Right? Right. Anyways, I was talking about this interview rather. So I looked up all the reviews, knew it was going to be a shit job, knew probably wasn't going to accept it, right? But I went anyways to get the experience, to get the practice. Got myself did up in all my fancy clothes, right? And I gotta say, it wasn't looking too bad. As an old friend's dad of mine would say, I was looking pretty dapper, right? And did all this work, whatever. Drive down there, and I showed up. Normally for an interview, or for anything really, I'll show up 5 to 10 minutes early. I think that's a good range, you know. Counts for traffic, counts for you having to fucking talk to the front desk lady or whatever. So you're always on time, right? This time, I showed up 2 minutes earlier. 2 minutes. Sorry, hit a break. 2 minutes early. I show up to the door. And it's locked. Okay. So I knock. Right? Now there's 3 people inside who I assume are employees. The door's locked you're probably not going to have a customer in there unless they're in danger, right? The people in there just look at me, and then they go back to what they're doing. So, I look at my watch. Now it's 12:59. Interview's at 1. So I knock again, a little bit louder. Right? Knock again. They look at me again and turn around again. So now I'm thinking, like, what? Am I at the right place? Or what's going on, right? And then about 30 seconds later, so now keep in mind, we're about 15 seconds to my scheduled interview at this point. And if you know me, I hate late people. I hate lateness. Fucking despise it. Sorry, Elijah. I just hate lateness, especially from companies, right? If you say an interview is at 2, I expect you to be in that Zoom meeting at 2, right? Because I will be. Because I'm expected to be. I can't show up at 2:01. I can't show up for my job at 2:01, right? I'll get in trouble, regardless if it's a minute or not. You're supposed to be on time, right? So I hate it when companies are not on time. Now this guy, 30 seconds later, 15 seconds to my interview, comes up, opens the door, and you know what he says? He says, we'll just be with you in a minute. We're just finishing some things up, right? Closes the door, locks it again. So I say, okay. And you know what I did? I got in my car, and I drove away. Because in that brief 2-minute exchange, they had told me everything I needed to know about the company. And that's one of the easiest interviews I've ever done. Easiest. For sure. I think knowing you're not going to accept it by the time you walk in the door, it's a good strategy. But probably won't help you get a job. So take it with a grain of salt. But anyways, that was my experience with them. And finding a company that's actually going to give a shit, it's been a hard roll of the dice, if you know what I mean. But beyond that, I've got an interview tonight actually, for Walmart. Hoping I can get a part-time job there, my second one. Numero dos, as they would say, in the country down under. The down under of America, right? Not the down under. Not the down under. Right, Mike. Sorry if you're Australian and listening to this. I like to butcher accents. Coffee's done. You don't have to hear it anymore. Coffee is donezo. All right. So Walmart called me last week. I called them back, this week. And they go, can you come in tomorrow for an interview? Or, meeting or whatever. They didn't really say interview. They say they weren't going to go over the details of the position with you. So I say, sure, I'd love to. Can you come in at 9:30? Well, I work at 9:30 a.m., right? That's usually when I'm working. So if you want to come rob my house, I'll be gone. Which I worry about, strangely, I don't know why that period of time stresses me out. Like, I don't get stressed out when I got to go to the store. Or, I guess I don't leave the house that much anymore. But I don't get stressed out. Only when I'm scheduled to leave my house do I get stressed out that somebody will, break in, kill my dog, take everything. Anyways, they asked me if I could come in at 9:30, and I said no. Well, I'm working. And you know what their next available time was? Their next time slot for me, 8 p.m. Was a little late for an interview, but sure, I can do that. I don't know why there was a 11-hour difference between the two. I don't know why I couldn't come in at 11:30. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, interview tonight at Walmart 8 p.m. Wish me luck. I bet 90% of the viewers here are tired of hearing me talk about weed, but I did a pretty good job over this 3 weeks. I'll tell you that. Pretty good job. And then I sucked again later. But I hadn't smoked since my last episode, basically. When I had said that, I think I said today would be day 1 again. And I didn't smoke after that. So it was about 21 days in total, which is a record for me, for sure. And then I just had to go and fucking watch a Quentin Tarantino movie, right? And they were smoking, not weed. They may have been smoking weed, but, well, here's what I'm going to say. They were probably smoking cigarettes, but it was Django Unchained, so they were hand-rolled cigarettes, which just makes you think of a joint, right? So that's all I was thinking about the whole time I was watching the movie. And then I broke, and I went and did it. Spent my last $20 on a fucking cheap-ass pre-roll. What a dumb decision, right? Stupid. But here we are. Starting, I guess this would be day 1 again. I just do a podcast on every day 1. Oof. But I'm a little bit more chill about it now. I'm not really trying to get a job where I'm driving, so hopefully, it won't be a huge deal. I'm just looking for a second part-time job, and you can believe when I get a second job and I start working 2 jobs, I'm going to be smoking. Your boy is gonna be smoking, for sure. 'Cause I can't be staying up all night when I gotta work, 12 hours and the next day or whatever. 'Cause I found that I am a terrible sleeper. Terrible at getting to sleep without the aid of marijuana. And it's hard to say if marijuana brought that on, right? It's hard to say if the sudden stoppage is what's causing me to not be able to fall asleep. Because I started smoking when I was 16, as many of you know. And I never stopped. Never stopped. And before then, I just stayed up because that's what people do, right? It wasn't necessarily insomnia per se, but when you're in high school, you stay awake. You're not going to bed at fucking 8 o'clock. Are you kidding me? 10 o'clock? You're gonna fucking stay awake. But now, I just can't fall asleep. I try. I'll just sit and toss and turn. No aid. Recently, though, those couple times where I've broken protocol, smoked, it hasn't helped me go to sleep either, really. I don't know if you know this. I mean, probably everybody who smokes weed know this. If you stop smoking weed for a while and you smoke again, they call it a tea break. Give your tolerance a break. So when you smoke again, you're just not used to it. And it really fucks you up. And let me tell you, it did. I mean, I already told you. That time I thought I was shitting my pants. Wasn't true. But, I mean, the experience that I told you about was true, but I was not. It was not true that I was shitting my pants. So, just putting that out there to be absolutely clear. But no, it messes you up, and it has messed me up. Even when I got the shitty, cheap little pre-roll this weekend. It just, I'm sitting there watching the rest of Django. The D is silent. And my heart's just beating real fast. My mouth's dry. Like, just to a terrible extent. Used to be I would smoke weed and just fucking, it would barely even have an effect on me. Honestly. I could go out and fucking take an exam. I could go to a job interview. 100%. Not even lying to you. Now, I can't even make dinner. I remember the last time, a couple weekends ago, I smoked. Tried to make some fucking chicken parmesan in the oven, which are terrible, by the way. Pro tip, if you ever start to buy, good dinners, don't buy those fucking frozen oven dinners. They're not good. The real way to go is this frozen skillet dinners, Take 10 minutes to cook in a skillet, and they are bomb. Chicken carbonara is the best. Buy it pretty much every week. But you buy those oven ones, and they're never fucking cooked through all the way. It takes forever. The box will say, preheat the oven and then cook it for 55 to 65 minutes. You take it out 65 minutes later, the bitch is cold in the middle. So, don't ever buy those. Except for the Stouffer's mac and cheese. That's gas. It's like the only good one. But anyways, couldn't even make dinner. Really. I was fucking struggling. I don't know whether I want to drink my beer or not. I'll start drinking it and I'll be like, okay, don't want it. Stop drinking it. Want it, for sure. Hit my hitter. Don't want it. Tastes bad. Stop hitting it. Want it. Tastes good. It really just fucks me up. So, there's that for you. What else we got today? Let's see. Can somebody explain to me, please, what is going on in Lebanon? I know there was a big old, explosion. I saw the video, but I haven't been keeping up on recent events lately. So it's, sometimes I just get in these moods where I can't, I guess I can't deal. It happened when this pandemic first started. Couldn't listen to the news, couldn't listen to any podcasts or anything, because it would just be jokes about the pandemic, and I don't know. You get sick of it. Put your hands up if you're fucking sick of this pandemic. Sick of the... Not literally sick. Don't call the CDC, right? But sick of it, right? And you're tired of hearing about it. Tired of all the shit going on in the world, I guess. So I get these modes where I just don't listen to shit for, well, that's not accurate. For however many amount of weeks or whatever. But it's not that I don't listen to shit. I listen to something that has zero to do with what's going on, right? First time I listened to, a whole backlog of Joe Rogan episodes I had that were before the pandemic. That was a good time, because I had hours and hours and hours of Joe Rogan episodes that I hadn't listened to yet, right? From a year ago, basically. So I got caught up, did all that. And this time, I've been listening to probably my favorite podcast in the entire podcastdom world, right? Podcastingdom? Yeah, that sounds good. Podcastingdom. Like kingdom, but podcastingdom. Alright. It's called Hardcore History with Dan Carlin. And if you don't know about it, definitely give it a listen. Probably one of the best podcasts. It's the best podcast out there. For sure. Basically, it's just this guy talking for 4 or 5 hours about one topic, right? The best one, by far, it's not free anymore, because what he does is he rotates them out on Apple Podcasts, right? So he's only got a certain amount that are free at a time, which makes sense, because he puts one episode out, every fucking 4 to 6 months, right? They take a lot of time, a lot of energy, and sometimes, you got to pay for them, which is fine by me. I love them. The best one by far is called Blueprint for Armageddon. It's about the First World War. World War. The Great War, as they would say, back in 1919. And it's incredible, really. You hear about just the innovations that were there during that time period and how nobody knew how to cope with them. And really, it's okay, in my opinion, if you're going to say one world war is better than one world war, like the other world war, I would say World War I is by far the better war, right? Because World War II is just so played out. Can we agree? Like, we get it. We've seen all the World War II movies. We've seen all the movies with the Jewish people. We've seen all the movies with the Nazis. Germany's the bad guy. Americans and Britons and storm the beach and French is a pussy, right? We get it. It's there. But how much do you really know about the First World War, right? These motherfuckers didn't even have planes until like 1916. Military planes, right? It's incredibly fascinating. Heck. It's incredibly fascinating to learn about all that shit. But, I've been listening to them all, really. Re-listening to ones that I've already heard. One about if you're into the World War II, the Japanese part of that, time period, and the German part of that time. It's got series on both of those. Learning a lot about ancient history, which has always been my least favorite. Learning about, Rome and Julius Caesar and Alexander the Great and all that. I just could never conceptualize it in my head, right? It just seems so far away, so irrelevant. But it's not. When this guy's telling it, it's really gripping and captivating. Is that a word? I think it's just captivating. Captivating. Either way, it's good to listen to. And it's been a great time for me, for sure. But now I'm officially running out. I'm running out of material. Not sure what I'm going to do next. I think I'm going to re-listen to Empire of the Summer Moon by S.C. Gwynn. If you haven't read or listened to that book, it's an excellent one about the Comanche tribe in the southwestern United States. And hey, they might talk about a part of the country that you live in. That book is amazing. It talks about just the gruesome things that happen between Native Americans and white people. And you might be surprised at what you hear. You think the white people are just the white devils of the world, which I agree with. Yeah, we definitely got a devilish bone in our body. But so do those Comanches back in the day. Let me tell you, the violent ones. There was violence, gruesome violence on both sides. It's a great book. It's a New York Times bestseller. And any author that goes on Joe Rogan is going to be a New York Times bestseller. I'll tell you that much. That's the power of podcasting these days. Blah. You get some author on Conan, you might get 40 white moms to pick up the book next day. That's a low estimate, maybe 400. But you don't get the kind of reach that Joe Rogan gets. Millions of downloads an episode. Do millions of people still watch Conan? Let me give it a look. Conan viewership. Let's see. Oh, the series premiere of Conan drew 4.1 million viewers. Yeah, well, I guess, series opening. I guess the average is about 3.2 million. I don't know. I guess that seems like a lot to me. But let's see Joe Rogan's viewership. I guarantee we'll be able to find this. Didn't spell it right. Viewership. Yeah, not gonna tell you really, but I know he gets millions. He said it himself. Millions of downloads an episode just off the podcast, and his YouTube's way more popular, right? We all know this. We all know this in terms of podcasting lore, podcasting fact. It's a very powerful platform. And you'll know that by the way that one magazine, Variety, called Conan the father of podcasting. When was that? A couple months ago? I didn't even know that motherfucker had a podcast. The father of podcasting. In my eyes, I'm sure many people would have different opinions on this, but it's Joe Rogan. It is fucking Joe Rogan. Who else can put up 3-hour conversations with fucking people that 90% of the country doesn't know most of the time? These scientists, journalists, just these people. And get people to listen. That kind of power is incredible. On Conan, they have the motherfucker talk for 10 minutes. And then they're like, all right, people are turning the channels. Let's get you out of here and get to our improv singing thing. That's Jimmy Fallon. But look, I know so much about these talk shows. I never watch them. Incredible. Anyways, what was I talking about? I was talking about Lebanon. Right. Can somebody explain to me what's going on in Lebanon? Because I don't know. I see videos. Apparently the government resigned. I didn't even know that was a thing. Like, does that mean every member of the government resigned? Or the whole government was like, fuck it, we give up? Like, are they going to vote some new people in? Or what kind of government even is it? I don't even know. And what caused the explosion? Because I saw this picture that said, our government did this. It was a graffiti, like right in front of the explosion thing. And I was like, well, that's definitely propaganda, but what do they mean? I have no idea what it means. I have no idea what's going on. And frankly, I probably will never find out by doing my own research. So please, if you know about it, if you know what's going on, or even if you don't, and you think you do, give me an email, thetastyburgerpod@gmail.com. Please let me know what you think. Let me know what's going on. Hey, let me know anything. I say this every week. I say this every week. I did see one current event. I saw that Trump thing that just happened. What Trump thing? He does a thing every day. I know. The thing that just happened during the press briefing, where he was talking and some guy comes out, interrupts him mid-sentence, and pulls him out. When I first saw it, apparently they didn't know what had actually happened yet. So I thought, like, oh wow, like Trump's coffee's ready and he's just being super dramatic, right? You could see the way, if you watch the video, you can see this guy come in, talk to him, stop him mid-sentence, and Trump starts walking out, and then like remembers that there's a bunch of reporters right there and just looks at him, and he has that face like, this is important, right? So I thought he was just doing a gag, but that wasn't it. I guess somebody tried to shoot up the White House. I never understand that. Apparently they shot at some non-White House employee, right? And then a Secret Service agent shot back. They didn't say if they killed him or not. They said he was transported to the hospital in critical condition. Look, sorry, still listening to myself on my own headphones. That's how it goes. Getting used to it, though. I think this episode was better. Let me know when you email the show telling me about Lebanon. But I'll never understand that, man. Like, if you're gonna ruin the rest of your life, essentially, go to federal prison, basically pretty much ensure that you're gonna get shot at by Secret Service agents, why do it in such a haphazardly stupid way? If you really wanted to kill the president, how hard would it be? Motherfucker goes golfing every weekend. You couldn't, camp out 300, 400, 500 yards from the golf course with a big old sniper rifle and Chris Kyle that shit, right? That's what I would think if I really wanted to kill the president, which, Secret Service, I'm good. I'm okay. I don't get it. Yeah, probably, I guess it was Fox News telling me the story on my Instagram. Hey, don't get mad. I follow all the news sites on my Instagram. Follow CNN and Fox News, okay? Not picking a side, just hearing both. But anyways, yeah, it was Fox News telling me this story, and they didn't mention whether either person had died, which means nobody did, because Fox News would love to play up the death of anybody, right? Either way, like, this assassin killed this non-White House employee. They didn't say that. And they also didn't say the Secret Service triumphantly killed this assassin. So I'm assuming nobody died, which seems improbable with 2 guns involved and 2 people shooting at each other. But here we are. I don't really understand guns. I'm 21. I'm going to go buy a handgun and not understand how to use it. I think that's what most people do when they turn 21, right? I do want a gun, but I don't want a gun before I've learned how to use it. Is that responsible? I think that's pretty responsible. Let me know when you email the show to tell me about Lebanon. Please, somebody tell me about Lebanon. Yeah. So that's all the current events I got, because I've been a little bit of a hermit, and I will continue to be a hermit until I feel good and ready to come out of my shell and start hearing about the world again. I advise it. I think a little break from the everyday grind, the everyday news cycle, can really change your attitude, make you feel more upright. That's the tip of the day. Take a break every now and again. You know, it doesn't got to be like me. I've been taking a break for about 2-3 weeks now. But hey, maybe a day, 2 days, you just don't listen. Pick your own thing. You know, re-listen to one of your favorite books, rewatch your favorite TV show. I'm not a TV guy, but do something like that. Just give yourself some space. I think it's great. Now, at the end of last episode, I forgot to look up a new invention, of course. And I got so many people angry about it. No, not really. Nobody really said anything, but I was upset about it. So here we are. We're going to look up a new invention. Once again, I still don't know a good website, right? I still don't know a good place to go. But we're going to look real quick. The website I seem to be going to a lot, it's purple, ideaconnection.com. Makes sense. Lots of people connecting with their new ideas. Seems like, you know, kind of what I'm doing. Holy shit. This is taking a long time to load. Oh, you know what? I do have something to talk about before we get into the new invention, because a lot of these inventions are centered around masks, and this just piqued my interest. Not interest. What am I trying to say? Reminded me of something. If you don't know about what's going on in China right now, besides, you know, everything our president is trying to say about it, he's not saying anything about the most important thing going on there, in my opinion, and that is the rounding up and systematic imprisonment of the Uyghurs in China. If you don't know what the Uyghurs are, they are the Muslim sect of China that lives in the upper northwest region. If you have HBO, or even if you have YouTube, I think it's on YouTube, look up Last Week Tonight with John Oliver and the Uyghurs. I'm not really sure how to spell it. It's a weird way to spell it. I don't think there's a W in there in that at all. Did I say in there twice? I might have. But I don't think there's a W. I think it's like Uighurs, Uyghurs. I think that's what it is. A lot of those people are being forced to make COVID-19 masks. So, if you can, check where your products are coming from, and don't buy those, you know. It's slave labor. Like 80% of the products in our country produced in China, probably with slave labor, or close to it, you know what I mean? But it's essentially the Third Reich in 2020, what they're doing. We haven't seen any concentration camps per se, no gas chambers or firing squads or anything like that. But there was a drone video of probably hundreds of Uyghurs just bound and blindfolded getting loaded onto a train. Sound familiar? So, if you don't know about that story, look it up on YouTube, or if you have HBO, the whole episode. It's probably from a couple weeks ago. But anyways, on to lighter topics. We're looking for an invention here. Lots of social distancing stuff. Okay, this has got to be it. Alright, this is a picture of an ambulance with its sirens on, and the caption is Happy Dance. So you know it's going to be good. HAPPI, dance. Let's read the description. While hemorrhages are easily treated in hospitals, those are hemorrhages, not hemorrhoids, which is what I immediately thought and then corrected myself mid-sentence. Hemorrhages, which I'm not sure. I don't know, it's a blood thing. I think it's sort of like a hematoma, where your blood's just all pooling in one place. Can't go anywhere because you're technically, you haven't cut yourself, but you suffered blunt force trauma or whatever. If you saw that Weili Zhang shows, what's her name? Yadreychik. Weili Zhang versus Yadreychik a couple months ago. Actually, it was right before this pandemic started in March. She had a fat hematoma right on her head. You can look that up. Joanna Jędrzejczyk hematoma. Anyways, where were we? While hemorrhages are easily treated in hospitals, getting a trauma victim there can prove troublesome and sometimes fatal, since current clotting agents used cannot be transported via ambulance. Okay. Interesting. So people die a lot. That changed when Happy came around. Why do they call it Happy? Alright, researchers at Wyss Institute, WYSS, of Engineering, developed a clotting agent that has a consistency of cotton candy. So it seems like a hemorrhage is where your blood's not clotting right and not stopping the bleeding. Okay? So that's what I'm getting from context clues. Where was I? Developed a clotting agent that has a consistency of cotton candy and that can be easily transported by first responders. Whoa. Imagine that. You have like a fat cut, you won't stop bleeding, and they just come up with some cotton candy, basically, and put that shit on there. Nice. Saved my life. Thank you. This is a game changer for paramedics, since the majority of trauma victims pass away from treatable injuries while heading to a hospital. I'll tell you what they pass away from. They see that fucking ambulance bill. They say, I'm going to the hospital. How much is this going to cost me? Well, about $1,200. That was insensitive. I'm sorry. To anybody who's having a family member that died in an ambulance, or if you yourself have died in an ambulance and are listening to this from the great above. Now, not only does Happy bring ease of transport into play, it is also an immensely effective clotting agent. During trials, a 99% decrease in hemorrhage time was observed, as well as a 97% decrease in blood loss. So that's pretty good. I mean, that's an A+, really. This can increase the patient's life by up to an hour or more. Wow. Giving the paramedics ample time to reach the proper facilities to save a life. Doesn't this make you want to do a happy dance? Terrible tagline. Oof. Oh, here we go. This thing's going to be fucking taking jobs. A robotic bricklayer. Y'all see that video of that guy laying those tiles? I'll retweet it on my Twitter. On the Tasty Burger Pod Twitter. Follow that, by the way, to never miss an episode. Right? These fucking machines, dude, these robots, they're going to be taking all our jobs here pretty soon. That's why, I was really going in for Andrew Yang. I think UBI is a great idea. And if you're sitting there thinking, well, that's socialist, you're fucking communist. Well, I hate explaining this, but, pretty much everything the government does is socialist. Really. Police, fire, Medicaid, Medicare, Social Security, all that shit. Are we communists yet? People on Facebook would say yes. The shit my deadbeat father sends me on Facebook, I can't even look at it sometimes. I just gotta mark as read and fucking move on with my day, because holy shit. The kind of moron you have to believe this shit. Wait, did I say that right? The kind of moron you have to be to believe this shit. It's crazy. I think, if the government can afford to give $740 trillion a year to the military, it'll probably afford some sort of, free health care for people, and also $1,000 a month to pay my fucking rent, which they are raising. Yeah, can you imagine that? Can you believe that? We're in the middle of a pandemic. My apartment sends me a notice that my lease is up as in a couple months, of course, and they're saying for the new lease, you can renew for the low price of $115 more than your rent was. And I ask you, for what reason? Explain that to me if you know about rent shit, because I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. I know you want to keep your tenants, right? Not a whole lot of people moving right now, I imagine. But you're going to raise rent and risk just losing a tenant? So I got to call them and be like, hey, what the fuck is this about? You know what I'm going to say? I'm leaving if you're going to fucking do this. Pay my rent on time every month. Never a noise complaint. Never any, I don't even use the fucking pool. So, I don't get it. But I'm going to have to put on my negotiating sunglasses and get to business. Well, yeah, I guess that's the episode for the day. Pretty good one, I think. Let me know what you think. Remember, follow the Twitter. What am I going to retweet? Yeah, that Brick Lane video. Look at that on the Twitter. It's a pretty satisfying video to watch. Follow the Instagram. Never miss an episode or a clip. Subscribe to the YouTube. So it shows up on your fucking recommended videos. And I will see you all next week. Promise. Alright. Bye-bye.